There's new speculation over whether Attorney General Pam Bondi will be forced to testify before Congress over her handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Some Oversight Committee Republicans who voted to subpoena Bondi are now indicating that they're open to changing that position after Democrats stormed out of a briefing with the Attorney General this week. Democrats say that they will not back down from forcing Bondi to appear before the committee on April 14th.
It's a lawfully issued subpoena, and we expect her to testify. So that's sort of the next point of contact. And we'll have to refer to the courts if she refuses to testify.
What happened with the Clintons is that they were actually held in criminal contempt. And so if we're going to be consistent, then we're going to follow our rules, and we're going to hold her in contempt as well if she doesn't show up for her deposition. We've already sent her the subpoena. She knows the date. She knows the time. And so she can continue to try to avoid that. But what is she trying to hide?
Joining me now is Virginia Congressman James Walkinshaw. He serves on the House Oversight and Homeland Security Committees. Congressman, you and other oversight Democrats walked out of that closed-door briefing with Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy AG Todd Blanche yesterday. Explain why you and your colleagues called it a fake hearing. How concerned are you that Republicans are going to block this testimony from Pam Bondi under oath?
Well, it became very clear during the private, secret briefing that Attorney General Bondi showed up for that it was an effort to create a pretext for her to avoid sitting down under oath on video for the American people to see in a deposition in response to the subpoena. So I was very uncomfortable participating in a closed-door private briefing around her inability or unwillingness to follow the law and release the Epstein files. I want to see her answer those questions under oath. And I think that's what the American people deserve. American people are sick and tired of secrecy around the Epstein files. They want transparency. To get that, she needs to show up in response to the subpoena for the deposition.
How likely are you and your colleagues to pursue criminal contempt against Pam Bondi if she refuses?
Well, look, I think Chairman Comer set a very crystal clear precedent with the Clintons. When they didn't show up for the deposition on the date and time and under the conditions that he dictated, he immediately moved to criminal contempt. And if he's going to be consistent, we'll have to do the same here. Whether Republicans will have the courage to do that, I don't know. They haven't demonstrated the kind of courage to take on the Trump administration that this would require. But I know this, whether it's in this Congress or in a future Congress, Attorney General Bondi will be answering questions under oath about her failure to comply with the laws with respect to the Epstein files.
So bear with me, Congressman. I'm going to run through sort of one of the latest revelations here. The Miami Herald has new reporting based on documents released by the DOJ in the Epstein files. It says that days after Epstein was found dead inside his Manhattan jail cell in 2019, a corrections officer told the FBI bales of shredded paperwork were thrown into a dumpster behind the building, and key institutional records were later reported missing. This was while the Metropolitan Correctional Center was effectively under federal control. We should say that there's no specific evidence of any wrongdoing or any connection to the Epstein case. Does your committee plan to probe what records were allegedly destroyed here and who ordered them to be destroyed?
I think we will, and we have a transcribed interview deposition coming up with one of the prison guards who was responsible for Epstein in his cell. And, you know, if you read the OIG report from 2023, there was a series of missteps inside the prison. And I think when I read the reporting about the shredded documents, you know, I think there are two possible explanations here. One, there were folks inside the prison trying to cover up for their missteps, right, and their failures to protect the safety of their inmate, Jeffrey Epstein. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that something other than a suicide took place, and that there were others involved in Epstein's death. Again, we don't have clear evidence in either direction, but I think each of those are directions that we're going to have to probe.
So you referenced this, but the prison guard on duty when Epstein died is expected to sit for a closed-door interview before the Oversight Committee on Thursday. Tova Noel, that's her name, who was accused of failing to complete a regular check on Epstein before his death, was Googling Epstein shortly before he died. Noel says that she didn't remember doing that. What information does your committee want to hear from her?
Well, Tova Noel also made a series of large bank deposits in the weeks before Epstein's death, including a $5,000 deposit just a few days before his death. Miami Herald has also reported that there were protection payments, that Epstein was paying protection payments to prison guards during his time while he was incarcerated. I'm going to want to ask questions about that. How is it that, a prison guard who, by all accounts, was making $50,000 or $60,000 a year, had the wherewithal to make a series of large cash deposits into her bank account? Where did that cash come from? Was there any connection between Jeffrey Epstein and that cash? I think those are important questions. Obviously, there's been the video of the orange figure walking toward the cell or away from the cell. I think there'll be a lot of questions about that, exactly who had access to Epstein's cell or didn't on the day that he died. So a lot of questions that are going to be asked and hopefully answered.
All right, Congressman James Walkinshaw, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.